on your behavior, it's on your heart, it's on your DNA. Like, how do you deal with all that?
I am Veronica Shepard. I'm with the San Francisco Department of Public Health. I wear many hats in the department, so I do a lot of work here in the community with the Black African American Health Initiative. And I guess I want to go into your question about youth. The health department is about population health, so we focus on the whole family, because every aspect of health is interconnected with the family. So when we specifically talk about youth, we're doing huge efforts with our community partners, our coalitions, our community-based organizations. We fund a bazillion organizations that are doing youth-related programs. Right now we're doing physical activity with our kids in the San Francisco Unified School District. We know that there's a huge aerobic capacity issue that they're not meeting. And so our department is now funding the teachers and the trainers of these PE teachers to help these kids change the way they utilize physical activity. So for example, if a child is obese, they don't feel as comfortable doing the work that they need to do with some of the other kids who are a little more active. The school district is changing that and creating a different caveat to create physical activity to be more fun, relieve stress. A lot of our students, particularly in neighborhoods like this, they don't get outdoors as much. So we have to continue to create environments to help them be mobile and move. Food, huge issue with our youth. We have a lot of obesity of our children in our schools and our neighborhoods. And we also know that there's a huge issue of hunger with our population. The health department is aggressively addressing that. Again, whole family. We have huge disparities with our African American population of diabetes, heart disease, hypertension. So we're doing not just the patient, we're having the conversation with the whole family. We also work with a bigger initiative called the San Francisco Health Improvement Partnership, otherwise known as SFHIP. In that arena, we are collaborating with the entire city to have an alignment. If we're going to address children at the health department, we want Kaiser to do it. We want CPMC to do it. We want to be in alignment. We're going to fund our community organizations that are going to promote the same health and wellness that we're all trying to achieve collectively. So particularly, even with this work that we're talking about today, it's about the whole family. One of my focuses is food security. We have a lot of research and data that tells us that the hungriest people in San Francisco are seniors, pregnant women, children. So if you're hungry, that impacts everything. You can't think at school appropriately, you can't do your work effectively. The child is already starting out the day traumatized. Our role, again, is we're connecting with school districts. We've changed even cafeterias in school to make this food likable. Not the stuff I used to get when I was in school that looked like you wanted to kind of throw it away right after you got it. And now we've invited the children to be more about what they want to eat. They're choosing the menu. They're creating healthy eating choices for their own selves and their other peers. It's going to shift the conversation. I've heard personally of a child whose grandfather had diabetes. And because of what he's been learning with the school district, he was able to say, he called him Pawpaw. Pawpaw, you can't eat that. That'll make you sick. And it was like, wow, when you hear these stories, you go, it's working. It's working. We're bringing in our faith-based community now. They too are doing whole families in their congregations, having conversations with them, identifying key people to continue to let the health department know, what do you need from us? What I see, I was born and raised in this community. My family has been here since the mid-40s. Seen a huge shift of life in this neighborhood. I played outside every day. You don't see that with kids. There was multiple programs, things were free. The pools, things were just so much more accessible. You don't see that today with children. So what we've observed is what I personally get to share from my own personal shared lived experience, as well as we use the data that we get from the health department that our kids are not doing as well as they could, particularly our African American and Latino population. One of the benefits of being from the community, I've already built relationships with the community. So I know a lot of the key people out here that are really trying to impact the health and wellness of our community. What I'm inviting people to do right now is to join my efforts and come to the table and tell me what you need. The health department has so many resources. But something we learned recently at a meeting we had with our faith-based community is that they don't know it. They don't know that there's all these resources out here available. We also learned that they themselves are still challenged with how they communicate with each other. So I'm inviting our faith-based community, their partners, our community-based organizations. We're sitting at the table, we are talking to each other, we're identifying key people that we want to lift up. So if we know that and I had to tell the faith-based, don't send sister or brother who's doing 40 things in the church. No, we need somebody who can represent on a continuum, provide them education, help train them. They're the liaison for their community. So we have to join hands and build relationships with people. So I'm inviting our community, as well as others, to join the conversation. Because if they don't voice to us what they know or what they don't know, how can I help you? Especially when we as a health department have so many resources available. We want our community to be well. I know that. I have 4 generations of my family here, and I'm trying to leave a legacy of health, wellness, and resilience. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of barriers. There's people who don't want us to succeed. But for me as a Black woman in America, I'll never give up. I have grandchildren that I'm looking at that I'm trying to leave positive messages. Open ourselves up to beyond the pain. Join with other partners. Find allies. They don't all have to look like us, but they're out there. A lot of people want to help our community and don't know how. So we have to open up ourselves to greater conversations and greater possibilities of health and wellness. I think most importantly is to be authentic. Just be authentic. Stand in what you believe or what you stand for. I stand for humility and gratefulness for myself and all others. So in everything I do, I remind myself, what am I doing this for? Why am I saying what I say? I'm not trying to manipulate anyone. I just want them to connect to the value of the human spirit, which we all have.